Hello, people of the VC. Andy, aka Kylie Marler, back for a hard rock heavy metal update. Some of the things I've picked up over the last couple of months, not under the 80s metal hard rock bracket, but just some other stuff I've been listening to. So I've got a mixture of hard rock, heavy metal, thrash, desert rock, some alternate rock as well, I guess you'd call it. So yeah, let's jump in. So first shout out to Green, I guess, because he's showed Iron Fist magazine a few times on his videos. Looked interesting, so I thought I picked up a copy, and this is a great read. This is my kind of heavy metal magazine. I used to collect Metal Hammer in the 80s in the UK and loved it, and it's still going. So I picked up a copy recently, but I couldn't get into it. I didn't like the way it was written and the way it was laid out, and didn't know any of the bands in it. But yeah, Iron Fist seems to cover a lot of the old classics, a lot of the new metal that's coming out now. One of the articles that we quite enjoyed reading on it was this one about a band called Thundermother. So I checked them out on YouTube and really liked it. So I picked up a couple of their albums. So firstly, this is originally from 2014. This is a 2015 repress on Despots Records. So Thundermother, Rock and Roll Disaster. So this is their first full-length album, and I mean, clearly, it's obviously a all-female hard rock band. Clearly, they've got influences from AC/DC in there. They're not an AC/DC clone by any means. They're certainly blazing their own trail, but it's pretty good. It's very sort of upbeat. Song lyrics aren't particularly deep, but fairly catchy tunes. If you want to check them out on YouTube, actually, if you check them on YouTube, check out some of their live footage, because I bet the gigs would be really good. I'd quite like to see them live. But Man with the Blues, first song that's on there, is pretty good. Deranged. In fact, the whole first side is excellent. Shoot to Kill. Yeah, so great. This one comes on a nice see-through blue vinyl. Labels the same on both sides. And the follow-up from last year, also on Despots, is Road Fever. So Thundermother originate from Sweden, but the lead singer originally comes from Ireland, but they're based out of Sweden now, I believe. This one it's okay. It's not as good. I enjoyed the Rock and Roll Disaster a bit more than this one. This first side of this is actually really good, but the B side kind of drops away towards the end. Thunder Machine and Rock and Roll Sisterhood don't really cut it for me. I feel a bit like fillers, but the rest of it is pretty darn good. There's the inner sleeve, lots of live shots, and again lyrics. And this one comes on red vinyl with the there you go, translucent red. So yeah, so it's for a bit of an alternative from listening to usual metal. These make a nice nice change. Yeah, bit of a sort of AC/DC vibe to them, but definitely something not a clone at all, as I said. Next up, so this is a band I've been into since they first started. They're originally from my hometown in Cardiff, Wales, where I grew up, and this album originally came out in 1994. The band itself is, I guess, they usually come under the alternative rock bracket, but I've never liked that term, alternative rock. I don't really know what it means. And this band, I don't think really falls into many other sort of categories. They can be quite dark, they can be quite melodic, they can be quite upbeat. And certainly on this album, The Holy Bible by Manic Street Preachers, this is my favourite album that they did, and this is quite intense and dark in places, and quite I'm going to say doomy. It's not a doom album by any means, nowhere near, but that kind of grungy feel to the music. So yeah, so this originally came out in '94. Excuse me. Originally out on CD, and then I picked up the 10th anniversary CD box set, and so the album is the 20th anniversary version of the record. And what's this? This is out on Sony Music. But they've been a band. I mean, I've followed their history for a while. They started out as a 4-piece, and following the release of this album in '94, guitarist Richie Edwards actually went missing, disappeared off the face of the earth, and has not been seen since. So it's a bit of a tragic story for the band. They carried on. They became a lot more melodic and more upbeat in their outlook and their view of their lyrics after that. But yeah, so there we go. Something a little bit different. So I listen to some other stuff other than just metal and hard rock. But this gets quite heavy at times. And James Dean Bradfield, who's the singer for Manic Street Preachers, he is my favourite vocalist, I think, out of any band ever. He's got an amazing voice, and I've seen them live so many times, and yeah, just a great album. From the melodic to the extreme, this album, I picked it up for a fairly good price recently. Described, if you look on No Life Till Metal, so Scott Waters' website, this is described as the worst live album of all time, which I found quite amusing after I bought it. I did a bit of a Google search to find out a little bit more about it, and I don't know if I fully agree that it's the worst album of all time, but it's not great. It's kind of fun. I've enjoyed listening to it a couple of times. I don't think it will be one that I will continue to come back to. One of Scott's criticism was there's too many short tracks, and so on. 14 tracks in all, but 9 of them are on side B, and there's a lot of tracks that are less than a minute long, and side one's not too bad. So I'm all right with side one. But nice to kind of have the collection. I got it for a really good price, so I wasn't going to turn it down just to make up my own mind on it. But so Nuclear Assault live at Hammersmith Odeon. So this was a gig from what, 1989. Yeah, 1989. But it's certainly no sleep till Hammersmith. That's for sure. So there we go. Anything on the the labels are just fairly plain, and I think that's on Back on Black. Yeah, Back on Black, and that was a 2011 release. Okay, next up. So around Christmas time, I was just browsing through new bands and new music on Bandcamp, and since I've started collecting music again, I've kind of been looking for a niche. I found the whole new wave of traditional heavy metal genres out and bands really interesting, but I've never really been gripped by it. There's a few bands on that I really like, and I've bought a few albums, but it's never really grabbed me. And I don't know if it's just because I listen to so much 80s metal still. I'm still trying to find stuff that I missed out first time round that I've not kind of felt the need for anything new. But I stumbled across a band, listened to one song, and within um, 2 or 3 seconds really of hearing the opening riffs, I was hooked. And it happens that the band is classed as desert rock, so I've kind of got more and more into the whole desert rock, stoner metal, all these kind of subgenres. They all seem to blur together. So anything that's kind of in the bracket of distorted guitars, fuzzy, but fairly clean sort of lyrics, I'm starting to get into a bit. So this band was called, or is called, Steak. And they've got 3 releases, and I managed to pick up all 3 fairly cheaply from, I think it was High Roller Records maybe, or was it... yeah, they're all on Napalm Records, maybe. I can't remember where I bought them from. But so they're actually classed as a desert rock band, and they come from London, probably as far from the desert as you can get. But yeah, they've just got such a great sound. If you want to check them out, there's a song on one of their EPs called Liquid Gold. So I'm showing that. Let me show them in order. So they released 2 EPs first. The first being Disastronaut, and I love the artwork on these albums. It's by a guy called Eduardo Ferragato, and from what I can gather, he's a Brazilian artist he's done some DC comics as well. So this was limited to 100 copies on copper vinyl. I'll show the vinyl first, and I'll show you the cover. So yeah, the labels match the covers of the album, and each of the EPs and the album, they kind of tell a story of an apocalyptic Earth attacked by aliens, and the band are basically the heroes in their fight to regain the planet. So this one has a nice little story on this side, and as I say, I think the artwork on here is fantastic. And if that focuses, maybe you could pause that and read that if you like. So this was released in 2012. The 2 EPs that I'm going to show, so this one and their follow-up, are both available on Bandcamp, and you can download them, which I did first. And I think it's only £2 for £2 for each for these EPs, which 5 songs of them, I think it's good value. So this was their second one, State Comics issue 2, and this is Corned Beef Colussus. Again, same guy has done the artwork. It's a 5-track EP. Liquid Gold, mentioned, that was the first track that I heard when I was browsing through, and this is the one that's got me hooked on them. And again, beautifully drawn comic book. Oh, I can't see. Comic book inlay. Nice stuff. And this one comes on translucent blue, again with the custom artwork on the labels. So since I've got into, or started listening to more sort of stoner desert rock, as I said, I found some of the genres, they kind of blur together. So really, if it sounds good and the lyrics are nice and clear, I'm not too fussed about what bracket of stoner, doom, sludge, whatever it fits into. But I've picked up quite a few other releases soon, so future updates I'm going to start showing a little bit more stoner rock and metal and desert rock within them, along with the metal and hard rock. And yeah, so finally their first full-length album is called Slab City, and this one came out last year, 2014. This came out, yeah. So this is a 10-track LP. It's got one track from each of the previous EPs on it. I think this was just plain back. Yeah, it's just plain back vinyl, but again with the custom labels. And again, same artwork by can't remember his name, Eduardo Ferragato. There we go. Again, another episode in the life of the State Gang fighting the aliens. Okay, that's what I have to show. No, that's what I'm going to show. That's what I'm going to stop there. 16 minutes. Yeah, so quite a wide range of other stuff I listen to: alternate rock, stoner, hard rock, some thrash. Let me know what you think. Hope you enjoy this. Leave a comment, and I'll catch up with you soon. Cheers.